Hello, 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 hello.
Hey,
Hey, hey, what's up, Rojo? How are you?
hey, fine. How are you?
Eh, doing fine, man. Just, just here, just doing my thing. I am. I'm pretty excited because I was thinking that it would be great to do something together.
Okay.
Uh,
Something with Figma?
Yeah, so something with Figma. And before we do that, let me just share on our Discord. I'm going to
Okay.
share just so people join us here. Um, this was very impromptu, just like live stream. I'm a fan of those kinds of things, and it's the worst for marketing. Like whenever I do this kind of stuff, like people on just like on marketing teams, they hate me. It's just like, no, Pablo, we have to plan it. This has to have, I don't know, just like weeks of planning, and we have to do social media stuff. And I'm always just like, dude, I just want to jump on a live stream.
Providing.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like, well, let's see if some people join us, and if they don't join us, it's okay. It doesn't matter. What we want to do today, we want to you were showing me a design that you made on Figma,
Yep.
and then I was like, Rojo, I think this design could be a little bit improved. Um, and more than anything, not so much on the visuals or stuff. Maybe we won't get too much about that, but we will. I would love to just like go over some things that maybe in your design could be better in the matter of just like how to use auto layout, how to use styles, and how to use also components. Because what you're doing is tell us what you are creating, Rojo.
Yeah, well, we're creating like a little test to check kind of personality for the people, and like you have to go to and answer what kind of any situation, and we will let you know if you're like an adventurer or something like that. So it's a really quick quiz or test in order to know that. So I don't know if you want to see it.
Yeah, so let me just share my screen. I'll share my screen real quickly, and just so we can open Figma and we can all see it. And there you go.
We are also
So
working on two versions of this.
you're working on two versions of this. There's
Yeah,
another version of this.
yeah. This is like is the
Oh, this is
yep,
version one, and then version two is over here. That's is that what's going on?
yep, exactly.
Okay, cool. So everyone here, this is I saw this briefly before. I saw, hey, you know what? There's an opportunity for improvement on this, and that's why we're jumping on a live stream. And I was like, hey, let's just record this, let's just put it so other people learn with us and learn as I destroy your design, because this design is ripe for destruction. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like actually walk us through this design. Why don't you do that, Rojo? I'm going to follow you here on Figma.
Okay, so what did I did step from step?
Yeah, just like just tell us an overall of what is this thing, and like what were you trying to, yeah, what this design is about.
Okay,
Let's say that this is a design review, so
it's the
show it to
oh.
us
Okay, so first of
briefly.
all,
Don't go to too many details, just briefly. Yeah.
okay, yeah. So I don't know how many details we can share, but this is like something that we want to share with people in order to they can like check this test, and when they add the answer, they could like know what kind of person of character they are. So we start here with a kind of an illustration of some of the different specimens we got, and we are going to invite the people to know how to answer this. and a little bit brief of description, and then we jump right into the questions. So we got like this small question, and we got like four options right now. No, that maybe this could change, and based on all these questions that they have,
Yep.
we are gonna like sum up it and get it to the answer. But we got two options. The first one is like this one, to so people can enter and see all the questions and answer it in order, or they can be like here, that in prototype you have a lot of more logic, that you can enter and start the quiz, and
Yep.
you jump right into the question one, and then scroll to the question two, and scroll to the question three, and go right into the final questions that you can see also that it's finished. It
Nice.
continue.
Okay, I have some feedback in different things. I have
Okay.
some technical feedback, and I have uh, some feedback about like the actual design.
Okay.
And but let me see if I, before I jump into any part of the feedback, if we can maybe you can follow me, Rojo,
Yep.
or you can share see the screen on Restream. So, but if I'm getting it correctly, it's just like it's pretty much just a quiz. It's a quiz. It's a personality test quiz, right?
Okay. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. And for those who don't know, like this is for a project we're working on that is called Humankind, and yeah, so like we're going to do something kind of like a personality test in which we people are going to be able to know like what kind of adventurer they are. And this is just like a based on the answers of their questions, they're going to be at the end if they're a wizard, they're a sorcerer, they're a healer, if they're a warrior, like stuff like that. And but like we're working on the logic of everything, but also Rojo was like, yo, I want to do a design, right? And let me do a design for this, and started like putting together something, and which I commend your being so proactive, Rojo. That's awesome. Thank you for just like getting into it. Now I think there's an opportunity for just like a improving this stuff. And I think one thing, let's go with option one. And
Okay.
on option one, what I see here is, well, some things that I think that might be missing is just like a pagination. And I wanted to
Okay.
know like why you're thinking about pagination.
Yeah, I believe that
Hello, hello.
it really works on option one, because on option two, like well, we were checking out like the questions, and first of all, I thought that it was, well, maybe are 15 questions, something like that. But now we are seeing that there are a lot of questions, so I think it's important to have this pagination in both options, in order to get the user to know how is he going through through the questionnaire.
Yeah. And give me 1 second. So somebody's calling me,
Okay.
and I don't know if we're doing something wrong on Discord, like if we're doing something wrong on our stream. So let me just pause, because like sometimes you don't know if something is going wrong, and you're just like on the live, you're thinking
Yeah,
everybody
exactly.
is looking at you. So let me just see on for people on our Discord, is everything okay? I'm just asking on Discord if everything is okay. So because like it's like uh, a
Okay. They say
uh,
that for YouTube is everything okay.
okay, sorry. That was just Mariana, and Mariana is in she's in Madrid. So I got worried because I got a call from her right now. It's like, oh, somebody, maybe something is going on, and she knew about the stream, but I think she just didn't know, and she was just like, I got a little bit scared. Sorry about that. Yeah,
I'm also
everyone
that
on there,
scared.
you can share a window that wasn't Figma, but mostly we're seeing Figma. Okay, cool. Well, everybody was seeing Discord for a moment there. What, Rojo? Why don't you keep Discord open just to see if anyone has any comments or anything? Cool.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
So if you have any questions or anything, just like please share them on Discord, on the Humankind Discord. So uh, okay, so you were saying like maybe around 15 questions, and then after that there's some pagination. Is that what you're saying,
Yeah,
Rojo?
Well, no, at first I thought it will be like a really small amount of questions, so I didn't thought about the pagination because I thought it was not necessary. But now that we got a lot of more questions, I believe it's really necessary.
Of course, yeah. So, like, and just for context for people, there's going to be like around like 100 questions. There's going to be like a long quiz. So yeah, we're definitely going to need like a pagination. So let's say that we were to go with this kind of design. How many
Mhm.
questions would you put in in a on a
Um,
page? Like, how many questions do you think are enough, whereas like people are like, okay, don't put they're going to feel like not too many but also
well,
not too low?
well, on the example we were like seeing, I thought I think it's like 10 maximum max.
Okay, so around 10. So now regarding your the answers, it seems like all these are really like the answers are really like four different answers, and are these going to have like different weights or something and towards different personalities?
Yeah, every well on this based quiz, it was like okay, if these are like a magic sword, it will be like adds up a value to a specific character or
Yeah.
to a specific personality. But we were watching like to change it in order to only like yeah, it's true or it's not true, or how much do you feel with this
Yeah,
question.
I do like the idea of just like keeping this kind of answers where the kinds of answers are more like agree, disagree, neutral. Like those
Exactly.
kinds of answers are pretty, I don't know, not that engaging, but also they're easier to just like go fast over a quiz. If here's like, what is your weapon of choice, and then suddenly there's like an axe, a sword, and a chainsaw, it's going to be hard for me to choose between those three, you know? So,
Yeah.
so we should be, we should have a combination of both, where it's like easy to answer and also
Hard to
things
answer.
that are like hard to answer, but not hard, but more like more personal and feel more engaging, right?
Mhm.
So, okay, cool. So I was thinking on the design, I was wondering if we're going to do stuff like this, if it should be a list, or if you were considering a different kind of design, if you
Yeah,
had.
I think that for this kind of questions that there are on this questionnaire, it would be great to have these radio buttons. But I believe that if you do it in the way we are going to make it, that is like I feel it I more or less like I think that maybe an slider or different options, but I believe that in a more vertical way.
Gotcha. So, like, if it was like agree, neutral,
Yep.
then like in a more horizontal way, right? Instead of vertical like
Oh
this,
yeah,
maybe
sorry, yeah, horizontal.
more like a slider, like a horizontal slider. Okay, cool. Uh, that's nice. Yeah, and that would just like take a lot of room here, and instead of like being such a tall page, then it would be just like really quickly, right?
Hmm.
So I wonder, like, and I'm going to. This is high contrast is driving me insane. And sorry, I'm going to. You know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to just duplicate your page. That way, I can make my comments and all my changes in one page. Is that cool?
Yep, exactly. That's perfect.
So the first thing is that I was looking at this and I was like, I wonder like why do you bold this? Like here, like putting question one bold, it feels like a title, right? And like why and it seems like, well, for me, like bolding it this way makes it really, and the rest of the also the typefaces are different, right? As this is serif, and this is sans serif, so it makes it stand out. uh,
Yeah,
why do you think it's important to say question one is the most important thing in each question?
I think at first I only like looked for the how it will look okay, how it will look right, and not give that much contrast to the question. But now that you say it like that, I believe that it's not the most important thing to know which question it is. I think that it's most important to read correctly the question, and I think that that kind of title, it like eliminates that importance to the question.
Okay, cool. I think we agree on that, and I can see where it's like sometimes you start one way and then you realize something different later.
Mhm.
So I'm just going to duplicate this page, and I'm going to keep that one on the side, and I'm going just to go at it like thinking about and while I'm making the changes, I'm just going to be thinking out loud. Is that cool with you?
No, it's perfect.
Okay, cool. First things first is just like we're designing at a 1522. I guess that's okay. I suppose like that's like a MacBook Pro. Yeah, 1522, 1512, sorry. And then we just like went like this. Something that so let's just keep it like that. Something that I'm not a big fan. It's just like I never use grid. I'm just going to remove it. Sorry about that, man. I don't I don't use that. I don't know. Like for me, it's just like actually pretty distracting. I don't know why, but I see that for a lot of people they use grid, right? Can you tell us like why you use grid?
Yeah, I use grid. I have to admit that the most important part of using this grid for me is the spacing between um, the screen, right? Like in Webflow, when you add a container that it's selected to be max 9040, I think, pixels. I think that is for that to have a correct space between the page and the elements in the page.
Gotcha. Now I'm seeing here that you have this, and is this a rectangle that you put here as for
Yep.
your? Okay, so
Yep.
okay,
And it's like fixed to the bottom. So
yeah, okay. I'm going to delete that too,
okay.
and and I know. I'm just going to destroy your design, man. I am very sorry, but I'm not. I'm not that sorry actually. Like I think we're going to learn a lot here. So right now I'm seeing that this like let's actually go to 100%, and
Hmm.
this is like gigantic. Have you
Yep.
noticed that?
Yep.
Like and which
It's
is
almost a complete screen.
yeah. So like I wonder if we want to put our container instead of 1312, we want to go to something more like 960, and just like make it more like tablet friendly and stuff. So, well, let's just start with this. Let's start with this thing. And the first thing that I'm noticing is that you're using just a group, right? And it's just a
Yep.
simple static group. And I think this will be much better if it is an auto layout where everything is already aligned to the left. The thing with a group is you can just move things around, which you might say, Pablo, I love it. I love the freedom that I can just move stuff around. But this just like in a design and like when you're implementing stuff, you don't really, I mean, you might be able to do that stuff, but usually you want to follow the rules of like how it works on when you're implementing something on front end. And
Yep.
one of those things is just like you would use like auto layout or like flexbox, right?
Yep. Exactly.
So here, I think I recommend just like going with a flexbox, and for that, it's just like press Shift A. So right now, it automatically just by pressing Shift A to that group. Now we add an auto layout, and it just like calculated like what's the distance between all the elements and did an average. And right now it's at 11, but let's put it at 8 pixels, and there you go. And let's put all of these elements inside. Let's put them at a width that is like eight. They fill the container. Is that cool?
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. And now this one, we should put it at a fixed size. And I think 1312 is way too big. So maybe we can go to 1024. There you go. And then
Oh.
this guy can be just around here. There you
Oh.
go. So now another thing that I like doing, man, is I also like the whole page. I do it an auto layout, which you're going to say like what? But the whole page is an auto layout too. And then I set it at like a width, like a fixed width of 1512. I think that's what we had.
Uh-huh.
And that's like my body container, right? And then from here I can say that, hey, I always want it to be centered, you know.
Okay.
And that way, if you make this small or big, your page, like number one, the elements are always going to have like separation, you know. And by the way, I usually do this, and the separation should be 0. They're all together, all align, very nice align. And I think here it should be 0 too, and should be 0 here too. There you go. So now you're saying like, oh, dude, but this looks like crap. Well, the thing here is that we want to start like putting it together in a way that we're going to implement it. At least that's how I think, because like I started thinking about like, hey, how is this going to actually be put together on a page, right? And the first thing we want is a section. So I would even go ahead and just like create a group from this. And let me just remove this here. But here we have, this is a section. But really, what is a section? This is not a section, but this is a container. So this is a hero container. And we're going to put another group outside of it that is going to be the section, hero section. And now this hero section, I also wanted to have an auto layout, right? And I want it to be center because I want this to be center. And now I'm going to start putting my padding around it. So I want to put like maybe 80 pixels around here. And now it has that spacing. You see that?
Wow.
So now, and then here I can say, instead of hug here, I want it to be fill in the container. So now this section, by default, usually it works like this. The width of a section will just like fill the width of the container. You see how
Yep.
now the width of this is, well, it says here 1632. Well, that's because over here, apparently I put 1632, but let's say that it's 1512. And there you go. That's a cool thing about this, because like now if I make this smaller or bigger, my
I like that.
content is just being always aligned, right? And
Yep.
then here I have my section, I have my container, and my container I have all that stuff. And all that stuff is really simple because like it has its own auto layout. So there's two different auto layouts. There's the one for the section and the one for the actual container. And this is how I would actually implement it on HTML or Webflow, whatever it is. So it's good to follow. I think for me, it's good to follow those rules. Now, let's go to your questions. And to your questions, I believe is going to be the same as this. And actually, on the questions, I feel like we can even use like components. Number one thing that I will do is just like if you want to keep a number here, uh, let's just keep the number, right? But I think this should be potentially like 12. Well, not 12. Let's go with 14. Well, and another thing, I want to put Command A. That way, it just like has an auto layout here. And let's align everything to the left. I see that this one is also an auto has a group here, but it's just a static group.
Yep.
So I think the first thing I'm going to do is create a component out of this, uh,
Oh, okay.
and and then this one is going to be a component. This one is going to be, well, I'm going to drag it outside. I'm going to add a variant to it, and this one is going to be off. One is on and one is off, right? The one is by default on, and this is off. And then here, these two should be called label, right? And then this is your switch, right?
Yep.
Switch. And oops, switch. Yeah. And even the switch should be its own component. So I would say that, yeah, I'm going to put it over here, baby. So this little guy should be its own component too. And then this component has a variant on and off. So this is on. And by the way, like, let's see what happened here. You put two ellipses. Oh, dude. Okay, your mind is going to be blown here too. Even here, I would say that you could do it without the layout too. Uh, so hold on. So how will we do it? Yeah, I'm trying to think of like how to do this without the layout, but maybe we shouldn't do it. It should just be a frame, you know, instead of a group here. Instead of this being because like usually you would do this with actual divs. You would put a div and you would put a corner radius of 50%, and that will create a circle, right?
Yep.
So we should do that here too. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Where was that?
Yep.
So I'm going to create a frame out of this, and I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to put a corner radius of 100, and I'm going to add a fill to it. And then on this,
Oh,
then
okay.
this whole thing too is going to be a frame too, right? So
Yep.
this frame is going to have a stroke. And then let's put this little guy here. And now let's add 2 pixels here. Ooh, there you go. So it's 2 pixels. And what else? What should we do? And then maybe we want to fill it with a gray color, just a light gray color. And then, so this is our on switch, right? And then the switch by default is just like this. So, and maybe this, by the way, we should just like, oh man, we should just go back into a lot of stuff. But you know what? Like, well, we need a black and a white, and I suppose we need a gray. Yeah, we need a gray, man. So, you want to show you some tricks that I have on how to do this kind of stuff. Let's just go with like
Colors.
this. Yeah, with colors. You're gonna love this, man. Like just how to create a color palette. Are you ready for this?
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay, cool. So here I'm going to use this plugin that is called Color Designer. Yeah.
Okay.
And then on the Color Designer, I want to create a gradient generator. And well, let's use the one that I have selected, and let's go all the way to white, right? And I need 8 steps in between. Hold on, let me
So this is a
see.
plugin, right?
Yeah, this is a plugin, man.
Okay.
So I need 8 steps in between, and let's see. What is going on here. Let me see, and I usually just take a screenshot, which is not the best, but I think actually we need 10. So that's more like it. So I usually take a screenshot because like uh, they're not great at exporting those colors. So now we have I have all these guys, right? Da, 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 da. Let's just see if, yeah, that's black. Then this one is this. This one is this. Oops. This one is this. This one is this. I'm pretty sure that there's another plugin that does this in an easier way, but I haven't found it. So I'm very sorry. So there you go. So I have 10 colors. 3, 6, 9, 10. Yeah?
Yep.
We good about that? Okay,
Yep.
cool. So now we have our 10 shades, and I want to go ahead and say, I'm going to change the name of this, and it's going to be ink slash, and then, and just, and then onto, and I'm going to rename it ink. I press Command R to bring this window, and then just add a number. And the number is going to be, how is it going to be? Like this. Yeah, and I suppose we need a couple of zeros. Yeah, just like this, and then a couple of zeros. So now we have from 100 all the way to that, and we're just start with 0. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Hmm. Actually, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So this is 0. This is. We're going to need something in between because this should be black and this should be 10. Yeah, sorry. No, 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 no. Okay, I am very sorry. This should be ink slash number like this, and then we only want one number and then a couple of zeros.
Oh,
Then
okay.
we should start with 0. We should start with 1, rename, and now this is like a. It's oh, I did it backwards, man. God damn it. So, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, man, I think we're going to need actually even more, man. I'm
Wow.
realizing that. Yeah, we're going to need more colors. Sorry about that. There you go. And this one's going to be just a lighter gray, just around there. Yeah. Okay, cool. So now, okay, now we're ready. That now let's put them, let's just align them, Command R, ink slash, and just like this, and then this go, okay, and do it like this, and it starts from 0. Um,
Okay, okay.
rename, and let's just start like this, Command, and then ink slash, then this. Sorry about that. I get really nerdy about this, man.
I didn't
And
knew this function of Figma.
you didn't know this?
Nope.
Yeah. Well, you know it. And then it goes from 0 all the way to 1,000. That's
Okay.
perfect. Okay, that's what we wanted. And this one should be called, it's just black. This one should be called just 0, it's just white. And then this one in between should be called 050. It's just like almost 0. There you go. So
Oh,
now we have all of these. Let's just align them. And then now what we want is to turn them into actual styles. So I'm going to generate styles. So there you go. And now let's look at them. And now they are like styles here from white
wow.
all the way
Oh,
to black. So I used 2 plugins there, and now I can delete this. We don't need it anymore. And now we can go here and just like start changing our colors to stuff that is actually, oh, apparently we already had something. Oh yeah, I had created already something for a different system. Oh,
yep.
duh.
I added.
You added it? Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I added it.
Oh, well, let's turn it off for now, just so we only use this stuff. But
Yep.
I think it's good for just to know. At least you learned that, right?
Yep.
That's cool. Okay, cool. So
I
now
didn't want
this,
to do that lesson.
yeah, there you go. So now we changed all of that stuff, and now we can go ahead and just like start like changing our colors. Our colors just are perfect now.
Okay.
So over here, and actually, you know what? I'm going to change it everywhere because then I get crazy. Dude, just change it. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Do not worry about it. There you go. So now they're all perfect. Okay, cool. So I like having this this stuff prepared. If not, I go insane, man. Now this is 40 pixels. This one is 24 pixels. That's perfect. So now we have our switch, and now we need another variant. We need one that is on and one that is off, right? And I think the one that is on, let's say that it doesn't have this, and then the one that is on, it does have a fill, and the fill is let me go over here, and the fill is going to be black. I'm going to say that it's black all the way to black. Do you like it?
Oh yeah, I like the
On
most.
and
Yep.
on and off. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So those. See if it with 4 pixels it looks good. So now let's copy it over here, and then now this little guy should be an auto layout too. It should be center. It should be 8 pixels in between, maybe 12. There you go. And now we don't need this little dude. Now we can duplicate this. We should add an auto layout here too, and just put out 8 pixels just so they're separated. And now this one is going to be off, and this one should have this. The switch should be this variant. Oh no, so this one is on and off, right? So this is off, and this one is on. Yeah, what? And this one is on. There you go. Off, on. You like it?
I
We're
like the
feeling
most.
good?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like this one.
And now the cool thing is that if we were to say like, hey, you know what? Let's make it 16 pixels instead. And by the way, this should be auto layout. Sorry about that. 12 pixels or 16 pixels. There you go. Yeah, 16 pixels looks good, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So now we have our answers. Now we have our answers. Let's put the answer over here. And now we need a question. So let's go over here. There you go. And now this to let's make it an auto layout out of them. And let's make them a little bit closer. Question one, if we want to keep that, let's keep it like that. And let's change the color to maybe like this. And then this one, should we also use what font we're using? I think it was
Yeah, it was this one.
the same one, right? Let's use Demi Bold. Do you like it?
Yep.
And then now let's put three answers. And then these three answers should also have their auto layout.
And auto layout. Okay, I see.
And then these should be like that, maybe three answers like this. And then this whole thing, I would say that this should be its own component too. So now this is just one component too. And the answers are components too. So we created a little system for our thing here. It's dope, right?
Wow, and it was really quick.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And now let's make these, all of this fill the container.
All right.
This, all of these stuff should also fill the container. And all these things should also fill, no, fill the container. Sorry about that. Fill the container. And now we are ready. So now let's go over here and let's put our question. There you go. We have one question, but this is just the container. Now we need also
A container for everything, right?
a section for,
For the
sorry, a
question.
container for the question, but also, well, oh, you know what? Yeah, let's do it like you were saying, where it's like it's a container for it, and then let's say that is fills the container, and we want it to be centered. But then these questions, maybe the max width that they should have is 960 or maybe 800, just so it has good legibility. Like, yeah, 800 pixels, and we can try it and we can see. And now let's duplicate them, and now we can just like have them like this, right? And then the spacing in between maybe should be around 80 pixels.
Okay.
80 pixels, maybe 80, yeah, maybe around 104. Because like you're answering this question and then you scroll and you want that spacing, that nice spacing in between all of them. How cool is this? That was easy, right? And now you were also adding a fill before. So we can easily now do that. Instead of a rectangle, we can just add it to the whole container. You see?
Okay. Wow. I think that the problem is, well, like I didn't saw the groups or the auto layer groups or frames as a div on HTML. I didn't see that you can do that.
Gotcha. So now that you're like, if you start thinking that way, now the way that you design is going to be so much different. Like
Yep.
stop thinking of them as just static dumb groups. Don't design like that. Design this in a way that you would implement it. Because then like it's even for you, just like you could say like a questions section, right? And now you have inside the section that is the questions, like you have each question, and then on this, what is the separation for this flexbox, or if it is a grid. Now you know what is the separation between them, that is 104, and that's going to be really easy when you actually implement it, right?
And also you don't have like unnecessary like rectangles and shapes and
Ex- Dude, exactly. Like if you have a shape, if you have a rectangle or a circle, that's because like it really needed to be a rectangle or a circle, you know?
all right.
But if it is a rectangle or circle, usually just use a frame, just use a frame and then give it quarter radius because that's what you're going to use on your CSS. You
As a
don't want,
as a developer, right? Yeah.
yeah, exactly. As a developer, that's what you will want to use. So why even do that? Why even not? Like, okay, another thing that you could do if you want to keep it fun is you can add padding to all of these. And let's say that this one is like 32, and some of them could be gray. For example, let's say that this it has a gray fill, and then it fills the container. It centers the content. Now, you know what? Never mind. I would have needed a different another container. No, 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 no. Never mind. It was okay like it was. Okay, that was it, man. Like I wanted to
Wow.
show you that like a what we learned here is that a you can just use auto layout and frames in a way that like once you start seeing this, like look how clean now it looks. I mean, it was actually pretty clean, like how you had it. I don't want to like because you already were using naming conventions and everything, so that was pretty clean. So I that was good. It's just like more on the formatting, because then with this formatting, now you can really easily give yourself like the ability to just like try different things. What if we added more padding here? If this was just like if suddenly you wanted to make this add more spacing in between, then you have to just like move
Move
everything, right?
everything. Yep.
You have to move this and then unlock this. Hold on, where is it? Oh, did I select it? Yeah. Now you have to move this. Like is this the same spacing as this? No, it's not. Let me just calculate it. Fuck that, dude. You don't need to do that. You can
Wow.
just like say here, hey, I want it to be 120 here. And now since this grew, it pushed this content here too. And now
Exactly. And also the
if
frame, the main frame is like adapting also to the content inside.
exactly, the whole page is also adapting, like the size of the page. Suddenly here, I say, hey, you know what? The spacing in between, it feels too tight, and I want to make it 120. The whole page, like it's growing,
Yeah.
So, yeah, and this guy, if you want it to be less padding here, go to 40 pixels only. The whole page is adapting. So that allows you to be really quick, and just like like put it side by side, and really quickly just like decide what looks better. Like, oops, sorry, this one, but yeah. And then this one, what if you went with only 40 pixels here? It looks super tight, right? And just like trying to read it here. So anyway, just want to oh, and here the cool thing is that any of these two,
You
you
can
can
also
just like
turn it on.
yeah, you can just turn it on really quickly here if you want to make your prototype. By the
Oh,
way,
really?
it's
Okay.
that's also something that you can do. Like uh, I don't know if you knew that you could also like add prototypes like this, where it's like a inside this on click it goes like this, and then on click it goes back here. You know that? So now if I preview this, that stuff should work too. Well,
Wow.
that's it should be single select, and to do that, then you will have to make this
You can do
also.
that?
Well, it is kind of you want to try it out?
Okay, okay. I didn't know you can do it in Figma.
I'm down to try it out. Hold on. So what you want to do is just like this. This needs to be answers, right? And and this only works if you only have three answers, right? Always you're going to only have three answers, right? So what I can do is just like have this little guy and say that this guy is on, and then turn this into a component, and then answers, and then
Oh, wow.
uh,
Yeah, I understand. Ah, okay, okay.
you know what I'm going to do?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah, I-
manually repeat three one, like, and also blank the first one, and yep. Okay, I understood.
yeah. So like what you want to do now is just like a create its own, like this is answer one, answer two, and answer three, right? Now you want to create a prototype in which this uh, takes me here. This also takes me here.
Wow.
This takes me here. And this also takes me here. This takes me here. And this also takes me here, right? So now I can just copy this and then paste it here, remove this guy, and now I have my answers, my prototype for my answers. I have my prototype for my switch and all this stuff, right? So now, if like all of these have by default turn on the first one, and maybe you know what? Maybe there should be another one, man. Yeah, there should be another one. You know what? Why, right? Because usually radio controls don't have an answer selected. So this should be unselected first. And then from here, the prototype should take you here.
Yeah, because that's like the default state, right?
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Click on. Okay. One, two. So, okay. So, yeah, sorry about that. Just want to say one, this is zero, should be one, two, and three. And now this should be by default always turned off. And now let's see if it works. There you go. Oh, mother crapper. Oh, you know what is going on?
No, no, no. I didn't understood what's going on.
Yeah. So this guy, the prototype,
Oh, sends you to zero, right?
it should be changing it to one. So now, there you go.
Oh, okay. Wow.
That's,
That's
how cool is that? Like now you
pretty
can prototype.
popular.
Yeah. Uh, it shouldn't take me back there. Once I have it selected here, this shouldn't do anything, you know?
Yep.
But somehow it's just returning. Anyway, I don't know. That feels like a bug, or maybe me not understanding how it works. But okay, cool. So, what did we learn?
Wow. I think that it's like more than learning like the tool indeed, because I know how to make auto layout, I know how to make components, but I think that the thing that I didn't knew, it was like this mental way of thinking of the components, like at dips, like you
Yeah,
can use auto layout components or auto layout elements as frames, as a div when you're developing.
yeah. So it's like you knew that the tools exist and you knew how to use it, but you didn't know how to use them. Like, hey, like actually to create a page and how to actually in a practical way, right?
Exactly. Wow,
Dude,
and now that I see that, it's like this will be like a lot easier when you design something. Another,
yeah.
yeah, sure,
In the beginning, it's a little bit more work, right? Because you're creating the component, you're creating the styles, you're putting all these things together. But dude, but now you have like, let me actually share my screen again. Like, oh, dude, hold on. Yeah, let me share my screen real quickly, and actually, let me. I think I can. Something that I should have done is just like made this a little bit bigger. But at any time, you can say, "Hey, you know what? These guys should be a little bit smaller. You know, instead of 32, they should be 24." And now I change it in one place, but it updates the
everything.
whole design,
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
And like, imagine having to change that. You would go
This
insane,
is a
man.
small. This is a small design.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. Imagine something bigger. Yeah. Even for example, here, like I want to make my questions a little bit bigger. You change it in one place, and it automatically changes everywhere.
Exactly.
So yeah, which it looks like in the beginning, it looks like no, but I want my freedom, man. You're not gonna have your freedom. You're going to be stuck with a design later. And why? Because you made a decision, and now it's really hard to change that decision. And no, you don't have freedom then. You actually are stuck with the design. Why? Because you don't want to make that change, because you know how difficult it will be to make that change. And the whole angle about like are against systems because like designers, they want their freedoms. My freedom, you don't have freedom. You're stuck with something because like all of the decisions like suddenly are repeated in 20 pages, and like making one change is going to be really difficult to replicate it there unless you use systems. So you're not free, really. You're stuck with your old decisions.
And also at the end, every app or every website it ends in code. So like constructed in this way, like gives you that uh, like easy to pass it to. If you want that freedom, it will be okay, but it will be difficult because someone is gonna be converting into code at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and sometimes it's yourself. You're like, oh my god, what did I do here? Yeah. No, but it's actually pretty cool because like a lot of this stuff like I turn into Webflow, which we should do a class on Webflow later. We should actually like another stream. We should we should put this on Webflow
Yep.
if you're
I
down.
really like Webflow. I also like coding, but now I'm like most focused on coding with JavaScript only because HTML and CSS I see it as a lose of time because you have Webflow for that, you know?
Yeah, that's a good way of thinking. And do you usually export the CSS and the HTML from Webflow and then use it somewhere like with your JavaScript?
Yep. I do that
Nice,
with Firebase a lot.
nice. You can also embed stuff on Webflow in case you don't want to lose that edit ability and still inject your JavaScript code.
I
Uh,
really like that part. Just show me some project that you have that look works like that, and I was like, how I didn't think about that.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good hack, but it is the whole thing where it's like Webflow is a no code tool, but to make it do really cool stuff, you have to add some code.
And also, you have like a lot of no code tools. I did a big project with a lot of no code tools using like Member Stack and Zapier and Webflow. But I believe that sometimes it's easier with code. You may think it not, but sometimes it's easier, and also it's a lot cheaper for the
that
client.
is that is such a refreshing way of thinking of it, because like no, it's actually with code, but because the no code tools sometimes they want to simplify things, and by simplifying things they make really difficult other things, because like then you have to, well, I'm going to do this and this and this, and you stuck, you start stacking no code things to just do something that with code would have been really easy to do, right?
Yeah, exactly. I give a class of Webflow for some persons on every summer, and I also teach them like, okay, if you know Webflow or no code, it's great, but you also have to have a little bit knowledge of code to make great things.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, man. Well, hopefully this was a cool session. We should do these kinds of things where it's like, hey, I enjoy destroying other people's designs.
I think it will be great. It will be a great section for you for this channel,
It will it will boost my ego. It will make me feel
and I will
better about myself.
and I will learn. You know,
Yeah.
it's a
Awesome.
free class for me.
There you go. We both win. You no, actually it's good because you have a really good attitude towards learning. Like a lot of people, you tell them like, hey, this, what if you do it like this? You try to be nice about feedback, and even when you're nice, they don't take it that well. So like you take it really well because you want to learn and you're hungry for getting better, and that's good. You
Maybe
want to
we
grow.
can have one show that we make it, but I take every feedback personal.
Yeah, that would be nice. And then I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, Ro. Yeah. Okay. Cool, man. Well, see you around. Okay. This
Yep.
was dope. Let's do another one.
Yep. Thank
Bye
you.
bye.